Hi everyone, and welcome back to Lazy Cat Reactions. So this episode is titled Corporate Cowgirls. Lou reconsiders staying at Heartland when former New York colleagues arrive for an equine retreat. Amy reluctantly helps Lou with her new venture. You know, it seems like every other episode, Lou considers leaving. And I don't like seeing that because it's telling me that something happened with Scott. Now, she was acting a little frantic. She said something about marriage, and then we didn't see Scott, which you would think if they were getting married, he would have stuck around. But I don't know that for sure. And, you know, she was acting kind of frantic and then said, you know, things didn't work out the way I wanted. And I thought, okay, so does that mean you guys broke up, or was it, or are you gonna get married? I mean, I think she would be a little happier, but you never know. So I'm hoping in this episode we find out, you know. And he was saying about taking a break, and I'm thinking, but didn't you guys just get together, you know? And you know, yeah, Lou is very ambitious, and that's something that Scott is gonna have to accept. She kind of plays by her own set of rules. But in any good relationship, there's give and take. You have to make some compromises. And, you know, once the equine retreat and stuff kind of picks up a bit, Lou could always hire someone to take on her responsibilities, so she could go ahead and take like a weekend out and everything. So let's find out what happens with the episode. And I'm interested to see, because it also says Amy reluctantly helps her. So Amy obviously is not going to be too happy about it. And we'll see if things progress with Amy and Ty. Let's get started. I love Ty's out helping. He's not so much a ranch hand anymore. He kind of is, but he's kind of not.
Oh my god! Hey.
Oh, that's not Lou.
How you ladies doing?
I think one reason why Lou is so frantic about this is because she and Scott did take a break. I haven't heard anything about it yet. I'm guessing it's going to come out, but again, she didn't seem happy at the end of the last episode. I could be completely wrong because Lord knows, Lord knows what would go on through Lou's head, but it's not looking good for her and Scott so far. Like I said, I think we'll find out about it as the episode progresses. And, you know, as I said, you got whoever this girl is doing the skinny dipping, and I'm thinking, great, so now there's going to be some extra competition, because he was like, yeah, it was a really good view. And I'm like, well, you know, I was going to say, Ty can look, but he can't touch. But to be honest, he can touch, because he and Amy aren't officially together. But at the same time, I'm thinking, oh no, now we're going to have another obstacle in their path or to get together, which of course has to happen because it's television, and you have to do stuff like that in order to keep things fresh, you know. You can't just have it be easy. There always has to be some sort of complication, otherwise you wouldn't have a show, you know. And it fires up the audience too, you know. We really want to see Ty and Amy together, so of course you have to add in competition in order to fire up the audience to want to see Ty and Amy together. You know, it's kind of like, I just finished my reactions to season 3 of Nancy Drew, which should be up probably in the fall, so be sure to check out those reactions when they go up. But I am totally team Nace, which would be Nancy and Ace. And of course, at the end of season 3, I won't give many spoilers for those who haven't seen it, but at the end of season 3, you're still kind of aching for Nace to get together. And of course, there's still obstacles and stuff that they will have to go through. And again, it's that whole thing. You have to have it, otherwise there really wouldn't be a show. You know, so it has to happen. Anyways, let's keep going.
Hey, Lou. You made it. Lou, welcome. Oh,
Like the one gal has the large hoops and the other gal has hoops about my size.
I brought gifts. New York in a bag. The bagels from Zabar's, espresso, the Village Voice. Oh, but this is really dirty. Could we put myself in the front seat?
Well, not if someone's gonna drive. Sorry, what though? Hope you ride in the back if you want. Everybody,
Snotty New York ladies.
see ya.
Good to see you. Who's the Marlboro man, honey? That's my dad. And, who's he?
At least yeah. So there are some hot men.
Oh my God. It's so beautiful here. It's gorgeous. I think he's mine. I want that one. It looks nice and calm and safe. Oh, they're friends.
So it's hard to tell with Amy if she is liking Caleb or not, because, you know, she seemed a little jealous when he was talking to Ashley. But right there she looked a little annoyed, you know, that he did obviously interrupt. It makes you wonder if he did that deliberately or if it just randomly happened. But yeah, Amy totally kissed him first and then Ty, you know. So I think maybe Ty is hoping if he like cooks her dinner and stuff that something will happen. Maybe they will kiss again or whatnot. So we'll probably get more of that. Now, of course, Lou is once again thinking that she should be in New York. And as I said, all I really am caring about is what's going on with her and Scott. I guess if they were getting married, she would be telling her friends. Like I said, this does not bode well. Because Scott was talking about not exactly breaking up, but taking a break, which we all know the famous break with Friends. But, you know, like I said, once the Dude Ranch gets up and running and they've started earning income, Lou can hire an assistant to take on responsibilities, and then she can have more free time and have time to spend with Scott. And I get it. I get that Scott wants to have time with her, but at the same time, like in the last episode, she did make a point. She said, you didn't clear your schedule, which is correct. Granted, he was on call, but, you know, she cleared her schedule for the day. And then he comes along and is still on call and has to leave. Granted, he came back, but still, I'm just kind of like, you know, Lou makes a valid point there. She made a point of going ahead and clearing her whole schedule. He could have at least done the same. There are other veterinarians. He's not the only one. So he could have made it that he wasn't on call. Anyways, let's keep. We can't make that decision.
Yeah, I'll come.
I'm all saddled up and ready. How about you?
I knew he was gonna do it. Good job, Jack. Would be fun. You know, I've gone horseback riding before, and you take trail rides, and yeah, they are a lot of fun. You see a lot of beautiful scenery, and obviously there you would definitely see a lot of beautiful scenery. And that makes me want to do that. Maybe I should try and do that this summer. Go on a trail ride. I don't know that I could convince my SO to go to. I don't think he's a horse guy, but you never know. But yeah, I think that would be fun. And I do think the girls are liking some of the things, you know, like they do seem to like some of the horses and the food and obviously the men. But I do think that they are liking some of the things, even if they are kind of making fun of some of the other stuff, because, you know, they're typical New York socialites that basically look down on everything else. So at least they seem to have a bit of an open mind. They liked hearing Jack talk about Heartland and the cabins and everything. And, you know, they do, like I said, they do seem to have an open mind. So that part is good. And it's funny though how they keep kind of drooling over Tim and Caleb, and they see the guys and they're just like, man. And I'm thinking, it's gotta be the cowboy hats, because cowboy hats are really sexy. One thing I've always wanted is I want a cowboy to tip his hat to me. I just think that would be great. That's something I want before I die. And yeah, I'm thinking it's gotta be the cowboy hats. The cowboy hats are sexy. And, you know, so I can totally understand their wanting that. Anyway. Caleb did tell you she was blind.
Wow, Caleb wasn't kidding.
He said the other one, his name's Slick, Betty and Slick. Spartan is probably enjoying the fresh air and the walk. No! She better not lose Spartan. Oh, hopefully that part of the grass was okay. Hopefully it was what was past the fence that was poisoned. No! I'm like, Spartan is such a sweetheart. No! You better not lose Spartan. Oh, I will be so pissed if that happens. Because Spartan has been there since the beginning. Mallory really should not have taken Spartan out. I know she wanted to take Copper, but since they used Copper, she should have just let it go. She should have just been like, you know what, I'm just going to do other stuff. I mean, I get it that she's a dedicated horsewoman and that she, you know, wants to ride and everything, but if Copper's her horse, she should really pay attention to Copper. She asked about Spartan, Amy said no. So she went against Amy's request or demand, however you want to call it. And now, hopefully, Spartan will be okay. So if they lose Spartan, I'm going to be fucking pissed. But that means, of course, that they're probably going to have to call Scott in. So maybe that'll be a good thing. Spartan.
What's wrong with him?
Well, he ate something poisonous.
This afternoon?
This afternoon?
What? There were trucks up there yesterday spraying, Mallory. Did you see the signs?
No. Dad, what were you thinking? Such an idiot. A total.
So, again, that explains Lou's frantic behavior and everything because of Scott, which is kind of what I suspected. Bless you! My cat's getting over a cold. And, you know, they might get back together. Hopefully we see Scott again, because, you know, she said, you know, she's like, he's known me forever. How is he? Not sure. But when you think about it, it's also like, it wasn't that long ago that she was still with Carl. And so she goes from Carl to Scott. Granted, time has gone by. We did have, of course, 4 months. And I think more than that. And I keep watching my cat because he's wandering around because he really wants food. So there probably has been a good amount of time that has gone by. But, you know, on these shows, they always do that where they have characters and they date someone, and then it seems like they don't go very long before they date someone else. My cat is being ornery. Good thing I only have about 4 minutes left of this because he's going to want some food. So I'm going to stop talking and we're going to finish the episode so that I can take care of him. I hear you. You can wait a few minutes.
the right diagnosis, that's for sure.
Is he okay?
Probably saved his life.
Yay.
I'll do a follow-up, but I'd say he's gonna make a full recovery.
Yay!
You guys were a team.
Ty and Caleb may not like each other, but
It's okay.
they work together.
None of this would have happened if you had
Just dripping with ladies.
Can I say, I'm authentic, I'm the real deal, I am this countryside, right? Oh wait, I think I'm also a legend.
I love that Jack's dripping with ladies. It was pretty funny though that all three of the girls just were fawning all over the guys, which, as I said, it's the cowboy hats. You know, cowboy hats make men sexy. But Lou's idea was a success, you know. You have these corporate execs come on this retreat and they spend this time learning and they kind of get to know each other and spend some time with the horses, and yeah, it turns out all right. Thank Christ they saved Spartan. That was, I figured they would, but they said something about like charcoal and water. I guess the charcoal probably negates the poison. But kudos to Ty, because, you know, he looked it up, he knew what it was, and like I said, when Caleb showed up, man, he was on it. He showed up, they said that it was the poisoning, and he and Ty just got to work. And even though they may not necessarily like each other, when push came to shove, when a horse was on the line, they worked together. And that, of course, is what's important. That's the teamwork. So it was nice to see that. So maybe they're not necessarily going to be friends, but they might be able to be guys who work together. And that new chick, I don't remember what her name was, she of course is going to be a complication, but as I've said, you have to have that. And so I'm glad that Lou finally realizes that her place is there. And I like what she said, you know, when they were talking about the corporate, and she said, oh yeah, your job's really hard, try running a ranch or whatever. And I thought, yeah, you know, Lou's job would be harder because, you know, what did she do in New York? She sat in an office and typed stuff up. Yeah, that's really hard. You know, while here she is maintaining a ranch and trying to make it be successful. So yeah, she actually does have the harder job. And it is a job, even though of course she does love the animals and her family. It is of course the harder job. And I love her getting after Lauren for kissing her dad. She's like, that's my dad. Like, yeah, that probably was not a good idea. Anyway, thank you for joining me for episode 5 of season 2 of Heartland. If you enjoyed this react, please hit the like button. I'm glad you kind of got to hear a little bit of my cat. I don't know if you necessarily saw him, but I'm glad you got to hear a little bit about him. I think he's going to want me, of course, to feed him. He is like obsessed with food. So please go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you can. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the episode, about Ty and this new chick, about Caleb. You know, I'd love to be able to have conversation. No one's leaving comments, so I'd love to have a conversation with anyone. Special shout out to my editor, Captain Factory. Thank you so much for all your hard work. You are awesome. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.